The ancients taught that in life, whether a person lives wisely or foolishly can be seen clearly from the way they speak. A wise person knows how to say no to these 5 things in order to avoid bringing great disaster upon themselves. Dear friends, karma is created from our own mouths. Those who know how to cultivate their speech not only avoid many negative karmas, but also bring many good things to themselves. Below are 5 things you need to avoid so you can live peacefully, at ease, and stay far away from misfortune and harm. First, do not show off what you have. When a person reaches a certain age, they will learn not to show off. You and I are both human beings. Life cannot always be smooth and beautiful. Do not carelessly become arrogant. No matter what position you are in, you should not be so pleased with yourself that you boast to the point of being conceited. The more you flaunt what you lack, the easier it is to lose exactly that. At the very moment you display your talents, it may also be the moment others start to envy you. Petty people are most likely to strike when you are most complacent and off guard. Therefore, we should learn to hide our strengths and not show off. People often say, there is always a higher mountain. As a human being, you must remember not to brag. Humility will help you fly higher. Modesty will help you go farther. When people reach a certain age, they also learn not to argue, to remain calm and gentle, to speak peacefully, to accept things with composure, and to smile and let things go. In life, taking good care of yourself is enough. Instead of constantly arguing, just quietly work on yourself. Calmly do your own tasks well, and perfect your own character. That is the most worthwhile thing to do. Second, do not speak with a double tongue. Not speaking with a double tongue means you do not go to one side and badmouth the other, and then go to the other side and badmouth the first. You do not use one person's story to slander them in front of another, nor do you bring up someone else just to mock or ridicule them. You do not stir up anger and conflict between 2 sides, and you do not stand in the middle creating resentment and hatred between 2 groups. In short, a person who does not speak with a double tongue is someone without malicious intent, who does not use contradictory words to turn close people into enemies, or near ones into distant ones. Such a person never gets into messy disputes with relatives, nor do they have troublesome issues with neighbors, so they are respected by both family and outsiders. Those who do not speak with a double tongue instead speak gentle, harmonious words that make friends respect one another more, family members love one another more, and everyone feel happier and more content with each other. Wherever such people go, they are warmly welcomed, and whatever difficult situation arises, they are able to smooth things over easily. Third, do not demand too much. Life is a lonely journey from beginning to end. In your own inner world, you are always the only one there. You must walk by yourself, work by yourself, and fulfill your dreams by yourself. As human beings, each of us has qualities that others admire, but we also have many shortcomings. No one always gets what they want, and no one's life is truly easier than anyone else's. There are far too many worries and troubles in life. In truth, it is not that others bring anxiety and suffering to us. It is our own attitude and state of mind that decide this. If we demand too much, life will become more burdensome. If we are overly jealous and envious, life will become more painful. In fact, each of us should understand one thing. This life belongs to us, and our days are our own. We do not need to prove anything to others, and we certainly do not need to constantly compare ourselves with them. Do not waste too much time on other people's opinions and words. Just live your own life well, and let people say whatever they want. Fourth, do not argue. When facing unreasonable, overbearing people, taking a step back is the way for both sides to remain at peace, and it is also a way to protect yourself. Even if you use all your logic to argue, it will only make you more upset and ruin your mood. In the end, such a person still thinks of themselves as above everything and may even negatively affect your life. The ancients said that 10 reasonable people still cannot defeat one obstinate person. So why waste your time arguing about right and wrong with the ignorant? Sometimes, explaining in desperation only makes you realize that the distance between people can be so near in appearance, yet so far in reality. Not arguing is knowing how to guard your tongue and protect your soul. The speaker may speak without thinking, but the listener will take it to heart. Avoid disasters that come from the mouth. Do not stir up gossip and conflict. Sometimes, silence and saying nothing at all is the most powerful sound of all. Those who speak less spend more time reflecting and observing others. They have more time to work, to grow, and to become clear-sighted participants in life rather than confused onlookers. Therefore, close your mouth more often, cultivate your mind, and love yourself. The ones who do not compete and do not fight are the true winners in life. Let go of arguments, stay away from worries, and remove yourself from toxic people and situations. Once you gain inner freedom and peace, your heart will always feel joyful. When it is time to come, come with conditions as they are. When it is time to go, leave with ease. Fifth, do not explain yourself to those who deliberately refuse to understand. In anyone's life, there will be times when they must endure lies and slander. There are always people who love to speak ill of others behind their backs, and there is never a shortage of those who become the targets of such gossip. Therefore, there is no need to explain, and even less need to argue with others. Explanation itself has a cost. Instead of wasting your precious time and energy trying to make others understand you, it is better to focus on the work you value and continue walking the path you have chosen. We do not need to waste our words and our precious time. In this world, each of us is a unique being, a different spark of fireworks. Even if it only shines brightly for a brief moment, it still lights up a whole corner of the sky. There is no need to force everyone to understand. As a human being, be like a flower. Even if no one looks at you, you must still bloom to your fullest, not for anyone else, but for yourself. You do not need to turn yourself into an ornament for others to admire. Just stay beautiful in your own way. In this world, there are people who see you as a fairy tale, there are people who see you as a legend, and there are people who see you as a joke. Just let them say whatever they want. Truly excellent people will never waste their time worrying about what others think. They only care about becoming the best version of themselves, not chasing after their own shadow behind others, not humbling themselves to seek their sense of worth in other people's eyes. They will strive on their own without ceasing, shine with their own light, and live as their true selves. Dear friends, those who are poor in spirit may never lack material things, but they lack vision and character. Time and life are precious. We should not waste our time on people whose souls are impoverished. Because material poverty is only poor for a while, but poverty of the soul is poverty for a lifetime. First, people who are poor in spirit often cannot stand seeing others do better than themselves. There are always some people who, when they see others surpass them, become sore-eyed and uncomfortable. From their dissatisfaction, bitter words arise to attack others and to try to comfort themselves. In reality, we all have our desires, and when we cannot achieve them, we often feel unhappy. However, letting these unpleasant emotions rise too high will cause us to fall into a difficult spiral. When our mood is affected, we not only hurt those around us, but we ourselves also suffer damage. Instead of bothering or forcing others to follow our will, we should focus on our own goals, trust in our own abilities, and build a better life day by day. Second, people who are poor in spirit often seize what belongs to others. Those who live in difficult circumstances certainly deserve our care and help. However, people whose souls are impoverished are pitiable not because they are poor, but because they have lost their will to move forward, have become weak, and rely on others through deceitful, dishonest, and overbearing actions. The ancients said that when in hardship, one should become more steadfast and not let one's will fall from the blue sky. In fact, encountering some difficulties in life does not take away our self-respect and dignity. But if we become so poor in spirit that we lose confidence and feel as though the entire world is treating us unfairly, that is what truly makes others look down on us. Third, people who are poor in spirit are often pessimistic. Those with impoverished souls often complain and easily give up. They tend to blame their failures on circumstances or other people, without realizing that their lives are dragged down precisely by this mindset. A person's destiny is actually closely related to their state of mind. In psychology, this is called the anchoring effect, meaning that the concepts formed in our thinking will bind us like an anchor dropped to the bottom of the sea. It influences our later life. People whose souls are impoverished are always controlled by this pessimistic mindset. Whenever something happens, they either sigh or complain and lament their poverty. When a person's mind dwells on something, Their mouth will speak accordingly. What they say, the world will respond in kind. The more pessimistic they are, the less good fortune they have. The more they complain, the more disadvantages and misfortunes they will attract. In the end, life falls into a vicious cycle. The ancients once said, "Material poverty is only poor for a while. Poverty of the soul is poverty for a lifetime." We must first cultivate a heart that is truly tolerant and spacious before we can have a life that is genuinely abundant and joyful. Dear friends, honesty is a good quality, but it needs subtlety and tact so as not to become rudeness that offends others and harms ourselves. What matters is knowing how to convey opinions and information gently, with respect and understanding. We can be honest without causing hurt. Below are the expressions of a person who lives skillfully and wisely. First, a person who speaks tactfully. Delicate, wise communication and behavior are the bridges that connect people and develop abilities. No matter how talented you are or how much wealth you have, if you do not know how to speak to manage relationships, everything can dissolve like clouds. That is why people who have intelligent communication skills can easily build relationships, be loved by many, develop themselves, and achieve outstanding success in life. In daily life, many people are so honest that they speak foolishly, not knowing how to communicate, so their relationships are meager. Yet, if we want to succeed in our careers, we must train ourselves in how to speak, knowing when we should talk and when we should remain silent to avoid hurting others. Intelligent people always know how to express themselves flexibly, speak tactfully, and be careful with every word that comes out of their mouths. The ancients said that one sentence can determine a nation's fate. A spoken word is like water poured out of a cup. It is impossible to take it back. Even if it is the truth, if it hurts others, then it should not be said, lest it destroy a harmonious relationship. Second, a clever person is not necessarily fake, and someone who tells the truth is not necessarily sincere. Xuanzi said that good words warm people more than silk, while bad words harm people like a sword. A kind person is like someone who has a ruler in their mouth and a mirror in their heart. They know what should be said and what should not be said. Many people, because they do not want to be called fake, stick to the belief that in life they must be as straight as a horse's gut. In reality, a clever person is not necessarily insincere, and someone who tells the truth is not necessarily speaking out of sincerity. A person who constantly speaks harsh truths is not necessarily a good person. Whether in family, friendship, or love, no relationship, no matter how close, should be without boundaries in communication and behavior. Many people, because they overuse the word closeness, unintentionally speak sharp words that hurt others, then excuse themselves by saying, "I am not used to lying. I am just telling the truth." Such a person may indeed be honest, but they lack self-restraint and only care about their own feelings. They use honesty as an excuse to satisfy their personal emotions without caring about the feelings of others. To maintain a healthy relationship, we need to learn how to respect and empathize with others, and understand that honesty needs to go hand in hand with sensitivity and consideration for each other's feelings. Third, tactfulness is also a sign of a wise person. Someone once said this, "The charm of language lies in its beauty, not in its abundance." Speaking appropriately is a manifestation of reason and intelligence. This is similar to the saying, "Even if you see through something, there is no need to say it out loud. Leave others a way out, and leave yourself some merit of speech." Intelligent people often see through everything, but only the truly wise are tolerant enough not to speak cruel words that hurt others. A wise person is someone who knows how to preserve others' dignity. With wisdom, they can see the helplessness and sorrow behind each story, so that they can sympathize, be tolerant, and share. A wise person thinks before they speak. A foolish one speaks before they think. But if you are a straightforward and honest person, before saying anything, pause for a moment and think about how your words will affect others. Those who know how to speak bring to others a sense of comfort, closeness, and trust. On the contrary, those who lack self-control and say whatever comes to mind will one day bring disaster upon themselves through their own mouths. Dealing with others tactfully is the way to shorten the distance between people. Beautiful words go straight to the heart. Hurtful words can destroy a person. Therefore, the way you speak and your attitude can determine how others feel and respond to you. That is why intelligent people always know how to face themselves, improve themselves, and change their own behavior in order to have a better life. Dear friends, in life, what matters most is how we treat and behave toward those around us. Being tactful is not as precious as being sincere, and being clever is not as valuable as living well. People often advise one another to live well with life and with others. Let us take a look at how wise people treat others. First, knowing how to repay kindness. In ancient China, there was a custom of foot binding so that young women would have small feet. Dandong Tu was one of the young women who followed this custom. From a young age, Hao Tik had his marriage arranged with Dandong Tu's day. During the 10 years that Hao Tik studied abroad, Dandong Tu helped him take care of his mother. When Hao Tik became a modern young man, he returned home and accepted the arranged marriage. People mocked him for marrying a wife with bound feet. Ignoring public opinion, although Hao Tik was handsome and talented, he was not at all promiscuous. He lived a simple life and listened to his wife in everything. This story shows how Hao Tik repaid kindness. On one hand, he honored his mother's grace in giving birth and raising him, and on the other hand, he repaid the deep gratitude owed to his wife, who had taken care of his mother in his place for 10 years. A wise person is someone who is always grateful and cherishes the help of others. In doing so, they accumulate many blessings for themselves and will meet many benefactors. Those who are ungrateful, who live superficially and betray those who once helped them, will always face difficulties in life and have no one to rely on when they are in need. Second, being tolerant and generous with others. Han Shi was a famous general of the Northern Song dynasty. When he read books at night, there was always a soldier holding a lamp for him. On one occasion while he was reading, the soldier was careless and burned a piece of Han Shi's sideburn. Realizing what had happened, Han Shi did not turn his head, but simply reached up and put out the flame. A little later, feeling that something was wrong, he turned around and saw that the soldier had been beaten. When he asked, his subordinates replied that the soldier had burned his hair and had therefore been driven out. Seeing this, Han Shi ordered that the soldier be called back, because he now knew how to avoid burning someone's hair. Han Shi understood that if a soldier were expelled, he would be punished, and it would be very hard for him to develop his career in the future. A single small mistake, if punished by dismissal, could ruin an entire life. Witnessing Han Shi's tolerance and magnanimity, the other soldiers were deeply moved and full of admiration. In life, wise people are always tolerant toward others. They do not harshly blame them or push them into a dead end. Dear friends, many people feel that forgiveness is truly one of the hardest things in life. When people treat us badly, despise us, and humiliate us, how can we easily let it go? But is learning to be forgiving, to pardon others, really that difficult? Indeed, forgiving others is actually untying yourself. There is a story that one day, a teacher gave an assignment to his students. He asked them all to write the names of the people they could not forgive on potatoes, write clearly the date and reason, and then put them in a bag. He also instructed his students to carry that bag with them everywhere, even placing it by their pillow when they slept. After some time, all the students realized that the bag was truly a burden. Their daily activities were all hindered. When they ate, slept, or went to the bathroom, they had to carry it with them. Moreover, as days went by, the potatoes in the bag began to rot and decompose, turning into a foul-smelling, slimy mess. At that point, the teacher gently explained, "You see, being unable to forgive others is a kind of burden. A resentful heart accumulates only filth inside. If we keep holding on to resentment, we will make ourselves increasingly defiled." The question is why we so often cannot be tolerant and forgiving toward others. Some people say with their mouths that they forgive, yet their hearts are still full of resentment and hatred. Being hurt by others is, of course, not a pleasant feeling. But in this life, who has never been hurt? If we cling to our grudges forever, will our hearts not be filled only with bleeding wounds? Being unable to forgive is also a sign of selfishness, when we place ourselves above others and want to be the center of the universe. Naturally, no one wants to be hurt. Moreover, when we hurt others, we always hope they will sympathize with us, understand us, and forgive us, while so often we ourselves fail to do that in the opposite situation. In truth, forgiveness is a kind of spiritual strength. Forgiving is not weakness or cowardice. nor is it merely keeping the peace at all costs. Forgiveness is not surrender or giving up. Forgiveness is placing yourself above the situation so that you can be generous with others. The ancients taught, take one step back, and the sea becomes wide and the sky vast. If you can truly step back and judge things with a calm mind, you will indeed see a different, beautiful scene. That is the realm of the gentleman, the realm of compassion and tolerance, of a noble, altruistic spirit. There is a saying, no one is perfect. No human being can be flawless in all 10 parts. Everyone makes mistakes at times. If you cannot be tolerant toward others, you should not expect to receive their forgiveness either. Can anyone guarantee that they will never in their life make mistakes or stumble? Of course not. Moreover, when you forgive your enemy, you are actually loosening the rope that binds your own heart. If that invisible rope is not untied, it will tighten more and more around your soul, and over time it will turn into resentment and hatred, causing mental suffering and countless illnesses. That is why we say that forgiving and tolerating others is also a way of saving your own life. An old story tells that King Zhuang of Chu once held a grand banquet to entertain his ministers. During the feast, a strong wind suddenly arose and blew out all the lamps and candles. Taking advantage of the darkness, one court official pulled at and harassed one of the king's palace maids. The maid, in shock and anger, tore off the ribbon of his hat and then reported the matter to King Zhuang of Chu, asking that the lamps be relit so she could see who had insulted her and have him punished. But King Zhuang of Chu waved it aside and declared, "Today, you are drinking with me. If you are not drunk to the point that your hat ribbons are torn off, that is not true joy from the heart." Hearing this, all the civil and military officials tore off their own hat ribbons. In this way, the one who had harassed the maid was not exposed. 2 years later, Chu fought a fierce war with Jin. Through 5 intense battles, there was one fearless general in the Chu army, Ta Xianhu, who cared nothing for life or death and always charged at the very front. Thanks to him, the Chu forces kept winning. Later, King Zhuang of Chu was curious and summoned him to ask the reason behind such devotion. The man replied, "I am repaying an old favor and a great kindness from your majesty for sparing me from the crime of offending the throne. I have long wished to risk my life to repay your majesty's grace, and only now have I had the chance. I am Tuong Han, the man who once harassed your majesty's palace maid during the banquet that night." King Zhuang of Chu truly had a magnanimous heart and was in no way petty or narrow-minded. If he had not forgiven Tuong Han for that offense at the wine table, then who would have been the one to ride at the front, braving arrows and stones and fighting with all his might for him? So you see, forgiveness is not about granting favors to others. Forgiveness is a gift to our own soul. Forgiveness itself is not difficult. What is difficult is whether people dare to let go of hatred and resentment. Hatred within one's own heart is like a ferocious demon. If you keep clutching it inside, are you not just feeding it more energy and life? One day, it will turn back and devour you. That is how dangerous it is. Therefore, you must always remember, forgiveness is a fresh spring that cools the flames of hatred burning in your heart. If you cannot broaden your heart to accommodate others, it is certain that you will not be able to succeed on the road of life. The root of forgiveness lies in a compassionate and kind heart. To be able to forgive others more easily, perhaps you should always nourish within yourself a kind and benevolent heart. Only then is it truly as the saying goes, the root of goodness lies in the heart. That one word, heart, is worth more than 3 words, talent. Dear friends, on the path of human life, if we can learn to live simply, it will allow us to step forward more joyfully. The ancients said, the simpler the heart, the more peaceful the life. In this colorful human life, what we really need is to put down our burdens and let light and joy enter our luggage for the journey. Choose the beautiful things. Store up hope as new riches for your path. A human life has 3 realms. First is to see far. Only by seeing far can we take in all the scenery within our sight. Next is to see through. Only by seeing through can we clearly perceive the true nature of things. Finally is to take things lightly. Only by taking things lightly can our heart be cheerful and at ease. Only when we can see far can we truly see through. And once we have seen through, we can then take things lightly. Very often, empathy does not come from speaking bluntly, nor from intense emotions, nor from dramatic gestures. It arises from calmness. No one can fully describe life. It is like a kaleidoscope, gathering all the sour, sweet, bitter, and spicy into itself. In the end, life is still about how to live with genuine joy. Those who are full of desires are weary. Those who are free of desire are refined and serene. Once the heart has learned to take things lightly, happiness will become more abundant. Life in this world is never truly easy. Each person arrives in their own crying and leaves in suffering. Each person comes into this world in the laughter of their loved ones and departs in their loved ones' tears. In a human life, sorrow is often more than joy. Why should we make things so hard for ourselves? Along the journey of life, there is a saying, heaven never completely blocks a person's path. It is not that the world is without reason. The road always lies beneath your own feet. If you walk the road of life with a mindset that is positive, healthy, persistent, and joyful, then every road will eventually lead to happiness and joy. But if you tread life's path with a negative, discouraged, cowardly, and pessimistic mindset, then every road will lead only to suffering and gloom. Even if a fairyland truly exists, if you only rely on illusions, you will hardly be able to enter it. The ancients said that someone with true inner attainment will naturally form a noble character. The highest realm of human life is in fact pure, natural, and simple. Happiness is not an easily attainable state. Life in this world is filled with hearts that carry different weights. Some hearts bear heavy suffering, sinking into sadness, while others are light, free, and peaceful. Those who are gullible and naive are easily deceived, while those who are clear-sighted can see the truth. Sometimes, with just a cup of light tea, a good book, and a gentle, quiet melody, sitting in stillness watching flowers bloom and wither, looking across the changing sky and drifting clouds, we can feel a sense of freedom, tranquility, and peace. Life is like a pond. If you cherish it with care, lifting and treasuring it gently, then it will be a clear pond. But if you keep stirring it up and do not treat it well, it will become a muddy pool. Life is also like a lit candle. It has the splendor of its flame and also the sorrow of its extinction. Life is like a bright, blooming flower. It has a beauty that makes people marvel and praise. Yet there will also come a time when its petals fall away, and that cannot be changed. Life is like a storm. It has a grandeur that covers heaven and earth, and it also has the peaceful scene after the rain stops and the clouds disperse. Life does not need to be arranged too perfectly. One's journey does not need to be calculated too meticulously. Whatever you do, you should leave some space for yourself. A simple heart carries fewer worries. A simple life carries more happiness. In all things, when we gain something, we need not be overly jubilant, and when we lose something, we need not be drowned in grief. Between gain and loss, let us remain calm and composed. People will sometimes part and sometimes reunite. Just as the moon has nights of darkness and nights of brightness, times of fullness and times of waning, such things have never been completely perfect throughout the ages. Su Dompa said, "Is human life not just like that? Each person has their most beautiful side, and along with it, worries and things that do not go as they wish. If time, once gone, never returns, then in this rolling, dusty mortal world, the most important thing is to know how to cherish and firmly hold on to today. Every difficulty is truly a gift that heaven bestows on you. It makes you more resilient and strong. Every setback makes you fall once, become a little wiser, and grow more mature. Without going through wind and rain, how can you ever see a rainbow? Without tasting the 100 flavors of human life, how can you understand the true meaning of existence? When a person's heart is simple, worries decrease and joy increases. A simple heart is what lessens sorrow and adds to happiness. Once you learn simplicity, everything becomes simple. When you truly understand simplicity, you yourself are no longer simple. Dear friends, life has never been easy. Each of us has wrestled and struggled with it. The more we grow up, the more insecure we often feel, because there are more and more things we have to worry about and shoulder on our own. That is why, after long and exhausting days, a peaceful and carefree life is something everyone longs to attain. To achieve what you hope for, remember the teaching of the ancients. Live a virtuous life and be tolerant toward all beings. Only then can our hearts truly be peaceful and happy.